Hey there, Michael Griffiths here, founder of Referral Marketing Guru, and welcome to this week's Get More Referrals Today podcast. Today, I want to talk about brain chemicals and why they're so important within your business. Now, you might go, what's this got to do with business? Or what's this got to do with getting referrals? Or what's this got to do with keeping clients? Or what's this got to do with... It's got everything to do with business. It's got everything to do with being able to keep clients for longer, to be able to help your team, to be able to get your team wanting to work for you, work with you, achieve what they're supposed to be doing, being more productive, getting prospects to become to clients. In fact, it's probably the number one thing that actually determines whether your business is successful or not. So if you're thinking, brain chemicals, I know this stuff, or I don't need this stuff, think again. Because without you consciously actually thinking, how do I do this in a strategic way to be able to help my business, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. And I think that's the big thing. We don't think about this in a conscious, strategic way to how could I actually influence other people. Before we dive into that, as always, if you love the episode, please share it with one other person. If you know one other business person, one other service professional that would love to be more profitable than what they are right now, make sure you share this with them. They will thank you till goodness knows how many days come home. Cows come home, as the saying goes. Okay? And as always, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Referral Marketing Guru. Find me on any social platform whatsoever. Just search Michael Griffiths. And also, make sure that you subscribe to your favorite podcast station so you never miss an episode. Let's dive into today, brain chemicals. Let's start here. What actually are they? Well, there's four. There's three good ones and one bad one. And most of the time, we cause this bad one without even knowing that we're doing it. And we're not meaning to do it, but we do it because we don't actually think about the action we're about to do. What brain chemical will that cause? I'm going to dive into that real soon. So you've got the three positive ones. You've got dopamine, you've got serotonin, you've got oxytocin. So those three chemicals we need every single day. We get dopamine, fun and enjoyment, serotonin, excitement, laughter, oxytocin, closeness, bond, trust. Every day we get those three. We get oxytocin through the relationships we have, when people touch, when we're close to someone, when we're having close moments with people. That's what builds up. It's not, oh, I love you. It's actually oxytocin between two people. And oxytocin comes through the closeness and the bond and the time and the moments that you share with those other people. Well, within business, we're doing that all the time. You are on phone calls with people. That's moments in time that you're spending with someone. You're at a networking event. You're on Zoom calls. They're all moments and they're all time you're spending with someone. So you've got the ability to create oxytocin probably hundreds of times throughout a day. But are you? Or do you not even realize what you're doing? And some people are naturally good at this, but not many. But those people who are naturally good at it, if you actually thought about what you're doing and strategically made it the next level again, because there's always next levels, then you would influence people at a whole nother level rather than just being luck. And that's what it is for most people. It's just luck if it goes the right way. So you've got oxytocin, you've got serotonin, doing fun things. And whether that's fun things with prospects, whether that's fun things with clients, whether that's fun things with your team. But you've got to be able to do fun things that create serotonin. Dopamine is this warm, fuzzy feeling. It's you usually are laughing. You're enjoying something. Why do some people love beaches? Some people love snow. Some people love mountains. Some people love rivers. People love going out into waterfalls and nature. It's not the thin. It's what the thin gives you as a feeling. That's the brain chemical part of it. Okay. Now, you actually can cause this in other people. Now, as humans, we all need to be around those particular brain chemicals. So I could either get it by going to the beach each day, or I could get it by going to the person who's actually giving that to me all the time. Now, this is so powerful in that you can have people influenced by you strategically and consciously thinking about how do you evoke brain chemicals in other people. So you've got the three positive ones, and then we've got the negative one, cortisol, stress hormone. Right? And most of the time we're causing that without even meaning to, because we don't think about this enough. If I was to really be honest right now, I would go, it's the number one problem with 99% of businesses. They don't think about the other person. They're so self-centered. They're so ego-driven. Not ego in a bad way. Ego is in a survival brain way. That's why your brain was given to you, to help you survive. But the only problem with that is that you think of you. You don't think about, well, by doing this, I actually want this outcome. How do I create that brain chemical to ensure I get the outcome? And you drop your ego. Your ego doesn't have to get involved. Who cares how you get there? That's what we've got to have the ability to do as business people. Because imagine if you did that and you evoked positive brain chemicals in people, you'd reach the outcome every single time. Now, how powerful is that? To be able to ensure that you're doing that. How much better would business be? But also, how much better is society if we're all trying to lift people up rather than pull people down, rather than having to go, oh, no, this is just for me. Having this scarcity mindset, this survival brain mindset, that it's all about me, 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 me. We don't need that. So when you think about how do you evoke brain chemicals, well, the next thing you've got to think about is you can actually evoke brain chemicals every single minute of the day. Now, that can get tiring, especially if you're not used to doing it. So you've got to pick moments. You might send off an email to someone. How are you brain chemicalizing them? You might send off an invoice. How can you brain chemicalize it? You might make a phone call, listen to your voicemail message, put up a social post. You might be presenting at something. You might be delivering work to a client. See, every moment within your business, you can evoke brain chemicals if you strategically think, what brain chemical do I need to evoke to be able to make that person feel the way I would like them to feel? Let's take this podcast as an example. Sure, we're talking about brain chemicals, but I'd love, as the end outcome, for this to sink in and for you to actually be thinking about in your business, okay, how might I just tweak a couple of things and actually think about, as I write this email, well, if I use have an amazing day, that would evoke maybe a bit of oxytocin and dopamine. If I started with, hope everything's going fantastic, how was insert something personal about their life? That might create a bit of oxytocin. See, when you start thinking about that, you start making your business better. So by doing this sort of podcast, what I'm trying to create as brain chemicals is for you to be able to go, this could be fun, but I'm also creating trust between you and I, oxytocin. Now, when you start actually thinking before you start doing something, okay, I've got 4 brain chemicals. There's 1 negative and there's 3 positive. What do I want to create in the other person? All of a sudden now your language is going to change. The way you do it's going to change. You can start pushing your survival brain, that the ego part of the brain. And ego is not how it's come across in terms of thinking you're great. That's where most people think ego. Ego, we all have ego. Ego is there to protect us. It's there to keep us safe. That's what the survival brain's there to do. Your cortex brain, your logical brain, your rational, analytical brain. And the biggest problem is when you're in that brain, which we are the majority of the day, especially if you're not consciously trying to get out of it into that limbic brain that we talk about, then it makes it really hard for you to be doing something thinking, how am I going to evoke a brain chemical in another person? Let me just use 2 examples that have come across. I'm just thinking of these right now on the spot type of thing. Okay, so there's like an email that was sent over my weekend. And I don't know who the person is. I don't know them. Therefore, it's hard to like them. Therefore, it's hard to trust them because I've got no idea who they are. It's just a cold email of someone who went onto our Instagram account and then wanted to sell their stuff. So the whole message is talking about them. The whole message is talking about this is what we're great at doing. It doesn't help that the very first line is incorrect. So therefore, it just comes across as a copy and paste, and you forgot to actually change the thing you were supposed to change. So that straight away, it doesn't have any trust in it. It's wrecking the oxytocin between us. And if you don't have oxytocin, there's no possible way that I can become a client of yours. That's all trust is. So you can see just through one moment, sending an email trying to drum up business, that by doing it in that particular fashion, you actually wreck the one thing that has to happen, oxytocin, between us for me to become a client. Shoot yourself in the foot. So what did you create instead? You created cortisol because I got something from someone I didn't wanted. It was wrong. It wasted whatever moments of my time to be able to go through it. And in the end, I just leave with an awful taste in my mouth. Go, what a twit. You are creating a brain chemical in someone every single moment that you interact with them. It can either be positive or it can be negative. There's no other way. So if you know that within your business, you are creating a brain chemical in the other person every single time, why would you not consciously try to strategically influence in a positive way? See, it's the people who can do that actually do really well in business. So people who can do that do really well in sales. So people who can do that do really well in business development because they're great people. So to be able to do that, you've got to get yourself out of the logic, cortex, rational, analytical, survival brain, and you've got to get yourself into the feeling brain, into the limbic brain. So we talk about the limbic advantage all the time, as really it is the number one way to be able to transform your business and become more profitable than ever before. Because simply the way you're doing things is human to human. It's a human approach. You're tapping into other humans' hard wirings. And when you tap into other people's hard wirings, like they have to feel what you need them to feel. And as I said, there's some people who just do this magically without even really knowing what they're doing. But 99% of people can't do that. But what you can do is that you can actually start working on it. And when you start working on it, and when you start thinking about it, and when you start actually going, you know what emotion, what brain chemical do I need to create here to create the feeling I want in someone else? Let's take social posts. And most people's social posts, they're boring. But they're not just boring. When they comment back on people's comments, I read it and I just go, you could have just done so much more there, but you're more interested in you making yourself look good than actually trying to bond oxytocin with the other person, or trying to have fun, dopamine or serotonin, with the other person, or creating banter, serotonin, with the other person. See, when you start looking at those sorts of things, all of a sudden you change the way you do it. You get rid of your survival brain, ego part of the brain, and go, you know what? It doesn't have to be about me. And the more you start doing that and the less precious you become about you, the more fun it is. The more fun you have, the more positive brain chemicals you start creating in other people too. So it just becomes this one giant loop. So what do you have to do going forward? Right? Just pick. Don't try to do it for the whole day. It's too much to begin with. Just pick 1 or 2 moments within your day, business moments within your day. If you need to, study in your personal world. Personal flows into business and business flows into personal. And just think about, in those 1 or 2 moments, okay, what could I change? Is it language? Is it what I was saying? Is it how I was saying it? That might evoke the brain chemicals that I really want. So remember, dopamine. I feel warm, fuzzy, happy. Serotonin, it's fun, it's exciting, it's thrilling. Oxytocin, bond, trust, closeness. There are 3 things that have to happen if you want prospects to become clients. If you want someone who's not even on your radar to become a prospect. If you want clients to stay with you longer. If you want team to be more productive and be through the roof in terms of wanting to be part of your organization. You think of any organization that gets one of the top places to work. It's not because it's a top place to work. It's because the founders or the people in higher positions understand that it's about making their employees feel wanted, cared for, listened to. It's not those things. Those things are just the things. It's the feelings those things create. And what it creates dopamine, it creates serotonin, it creates oxytocin. And if I've got those things every single time that I turn up to this place, why would I want to go anywhere else? Of course, I'm going to rant and rave at how great it is. See, so this is just part and parcel of everyday life. And the more you can actually understand this and the more you can start doing this every single day, all of a sudden, you take your business to a whole different level. Now, the majority of people won't have even got this far within the podcast, so congratulations for doing so. You're like one of the few percent that can actually now go on and start thinking strategically. How do I do this in this moment? And it could just be simply changing the way you finish an email. It could just be putting in some more emotive words. When you look at our social content, when you look at our emails, keep them and go, okay, how did Michael use just a tweak there that I could model and do the same? So think 2 moments over the next 24 hours that you're going to try to evoke brain chemicals more than what you've ever done before. I hope that's super helpful. As always, make sure you share this to one other service professional who you know would love to be more profitable than ever before, because this will help them and they'll thank you forever. If you're not subscribed on our YouTube channel, go check it out, Referral Marketing Guru. You get the podcast every week, plus another video we do each week to be able to help you limbic the crap out of your business. Because honestly, if you're not, you're at a disadvantage. If you're not limbicking your business from top to bottom, then whoever is in your marketplace is going to stand out more than you. Everyone's going to talk about them more than you. And we don't want that. We want you to be the profitable person in your business. If you want help limbicking the crap out of your business, you know what to do. Just reach out, say hello. If you've got any questions, reach out. Always happy to answer your questions. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that follow button on your favorite podcast platform. Until next week, take care, and I'll speak to you real soon. See you later, all.